Hi guys, what's up? For some reason my auto transitioning was off, so I had to fix it. Just a minute. Here I am. Click. There, fixed. Hi, how you doing out there, TV Land? It's your boy Dusty. Over here on, what is it? The fabulous West Coast. San Jose, California. Where it's finally raining. It's rained for the last couple of days, so it's finally raining. Thank you, Cloudsdale Weather Factory, for getting off your katukuses and giving us some much needed moisture around here. Because maybe I'll get to snowboard sometime before February. Maybe. Who knows? Rainbow keeps calling me on the phone going, hey, dude, when are we going snowboarding? Well, you know, if you weather ponies would give me some snow, we might go someday. And she'd go, yeah. But that's it. But you're not here to talk about snowboarding with Rainbow Dash. No, I don't think you are. You're here because one wonderfully funny gentleman is here with us tonight. One of the originators, as it were, of the critique analysis community. One Mr. Thomas Oliver. Tommy.
What's going on, man?
What's going on, buddy? How are you today?
Not too bad. Just been, working, trying to get stuff done.
Working.
Same every day, trying to get a little bit more done than did yesterday.
Yep, when you're working for yourself.
Yeah.
There's no days off. Absolutely not. So let's get into some questions. The very front. Let me get my script up here. Everybody in the chat room knows what the first question is. The first question for everybody is: what are some of the cartoons and comics you watched or read as a child, or still watching to this day?
All right. Let's see. Back when I was a little kid, Saturday morning cartoons were like everywhere. So, I was addicted to Fox Kids and Kids WB and the old Cartoon Network.
Oh yeah.
So one of my favorite cartoons growing up was the Spider-Man cartoon from the 90s, because I was a huge Spider-Man fan as a kid. My dad had a bunch of the old 70s comics, and so that's what got me into it. And then I watched that show religiously, bought all the action figures. Batman the Animated Series was great.
Yeah.
Digimon was a big thing. Digimon and Pokemon. I was at the ripe age of 10 when both of those dropped. So I was
you're the target audience there.
Yeah, it was bad. I got bit by the bug, horribly bad. So yeah, all the staple 90s shows, Rugrats, Invader Zim.
Invader Zim. Whew.
Nicktoons, the whole shebang. I watched it all, and I still watch them now every now and then. So
the creator of Invader Zim lives here in San Jose.
Yeah, that's awesome. Jonah Vasquez.
Jonah Vasquez. He actually goes around in a car with the plate says Zim Daddy. I swear to God.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
He needs to do some more work.
He does. He hasn't done anything in a while.
No.
He did Johnny the Homicidal Maniac, and that was before Zim.
Yeah, that was great.
It's a while ago.
I'm so jealous of that man. He's never actually worked a real job. He did Johnny right out of high school.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he did, didn't he?
Got super rich, super famous. Then he did Zim, and now he's just coasting. I think he did another Filler Bunny book a little while ago.
Yeah.
But I haven't read it yet.
No, I haven't picked that one up either. It's kind of hard to keep up with stuff that's 5 or 6 years in between.
Definitely. You just kind of lose track.
Yeah.
So.
Before you took up this whole analyze all the things hobby, what did you like to do for fun?
Well, before I got bit by the pony bug, I was doing a lot of original content. I was working on trying to become an independent comic artist, because I was a huge fan of indie comics. So I started a lot of projects. I started a pseudo company with someone I met online that kind of tanked. We were going to conventions and passing out books and stuff.
Right.
Was a big gamer during high school. Was completely addicted to video games. Now that I'm doing all this work, like you were saying before, kind of fallen off the bandwagon a bit. Only play a couple games a year.
Yeah.
I have tons of comics right behind me right now. Actually, I read a lot of anime and manga. Got tons of superhero books and indie stuff like Cerebus and Zot.
You actually bought Cerebus too?
Heck yeah, Cerebus is one of my favorite comics ever.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
It's fantastic. Dave Sim is a monster. He did 300 issues.
300 issues straight up, dude. I did a lot of that Cerebus black and white issue comic stuff.
Yeah, dude.
Samurai Penguin, Space Beaver, all that stuff from the 80s. All of it.
Yeah.
Quarter boxes were my life. I loved it. Independent comics too. Just all the little independent black and whites from that
Yeah,
era.
definitely.
Anybody can do a comic.
Yeah, Alec Longstreth. He's one of my favorite comic artists, and
Mm-hmm.
he self-publishes, prints them all off his printer at home, binds them, and sends them out to his mailing list. It's great.
Nice. Yeah, it's sort of the old school. If you wanted to do a comic, right? It's almost like going back to vinyl, right?
Exactly.
Now you've got webcomic upon webcomic upon webcomic. Marvel has a webcomic. DC has webcomics, and all of a sudden you got this little guy making a little trash can, ash can comic book, make it in his house, print it on his own thing, staple it, and send it out to your mailing list. It's almost like
special about holding a book, man.
There's something
It's
special
a different
about
kind
holding.
of aesthetic.
Yeah, it's kind of a different aesthetic of holding a comic book in your hand than like reading it on this little small screen.
Yeah.
Right, because it's something magical about looking at the work that Andy Price puts into all this artwork, and having it physically in your hand and owning it.
It definitely, like, even as a creator, it's a different feeling. It's more tangible because it is literally more tangible. It's a physical object. So
yeah, absolutely. You not only do all of your own writing, but again, you do all of your own art, and we just talked about it. You did your own mini comics back in the day. Did you teach yourself art, or was it a high school thing? Did you go to college for it? Are there any mystical elements from above just basically touched you on the back of the head and said, "Here, draw"?
It's kind of a mixture of both. I mean, I took a lot of art classes in high school, but it was all the classes I took in high school more about here's an application, learn how to use it. But I'm mostly self-taught because in high school I took a media arts class, which is all about learning how to use Flash. That Flash MX 2004, which is wicked old, and then Fireworks, and I messed around with those a little bit. Then I got Photoshop at my house. I worked a job for like 8 months, saved up $1,000, bought a Mac, quit the job immediately so I could focus all my time on drawing. I downloaded this big ebook on how to learn Photoshop. I read through it in a week, and I taught myself Photoshop. So I did a lot of the digital stuff. I went to school for graphic design, but I've constantly gone on record saying that my choice of school was like the worst decision ever because I didn't really learn anything.
Okay.
But during that 4 years of college, I taught myself Illustrator and InDesign, and I did some 3D modeling stuff in a free application called Blender. So I'm very much self-taught despite having a degree.
Oh, there you go.
So it's a mixture of both.
So you too out there can draw like Tommy Oliver. Just keep busting your butt.
Yeah, it's just keep bashing your head against that brick wall until it starts to crack.
That's what it takes. As weird as it sounds, you really do this for a living now. It's like and through your sponsorships and Patreon accounts. So does it hurt or help your creativity knowing that you have a deadline every week?
It's a little bit of both, I suppose. I mean, I guess I should append saying that, like, while I pay my bills right now with Patreon, I definitely don't have enough money to be living on my own. I'm living still at the parents' house. I'm saving up money. I'm trying to get a job so I can move out because I want to move. I'm on East Coast right now. I want to move on West Coast where you are, either California or Portland, Oregon are the two places I'm thinking about moving to. So I'm kind of in this weird middle phase where I have more money than I need to pay my bills, but not enough to actually move out. So I'm like trying to like get enough support so I can make that happen, which is why I'm working on this huge, big project that I'm going to start doing. So hopefully...
Big project coming up. Big project.
Yeah, it's going to be like the bulk of my 2015. So it's going to be a good time.
Hopefully you'll still make your own analysis video things because we love those. So
yeah,
I know it's a huge project.
Yeah, I want to keep the channel going. So where we go in the future with that, I'm not 100% sure yet, but I'm definitely going to keep going and do something with it.
Oh, good.
Hey, fellas.
What?
There's a bit of lag jumps going on right now.
Yeah, I know. For some reason, the internet is giving me lag jumps right now, and I'm sorry about that, gang. I don't even know if the stuff over my shoulder is coming up because in my viewer here, it doesn't even show it. So ask the chatty box if my over the shoulder graphics are actually working because I don't even know. Really
or
quick.
am I very loud typing?
Very loud typing. Why? Because you're loud.
They say it is.
They say it is.
Some are saying it is, some say it isn't. Oh, no, it isn't. No, never mind.
It isn't. Okay.
It isn't.
Yeah, I understand that it's a little bit laggy right now. Hopefully that'll clear up a bit because it is raining here. So we haven't done a show when it was raining before. So maybe there's something going on with the internet. I don't know. But hopefully we can just continue on, and hopefully it will just fix itself. No, anti-lag feature triggered. So there, it lags again. I'm doing the best I can, folks. Basically, it's the internet, not me. So hopefully we can continue on, and hopefully this will keep going. For some reason, it's not doing my graphics, which I'll put in during the during the YouTube re-air. So we just force it on. We keep going. That's what we do around here.
The show must go on.
The show must go on. To expand your reach, you've started doing reactions to different things in MLP. Is it hard to come up with an idea that you think people will enjoy watching that will pay you a few bits for?
I definitely try and keep it kind of within nerd culture. So like, you know, comics and cartoons and video games and card games and things like that. Right. So I think there's probably a good deal of like overlap in terms of like interests and MLP, at least with the people I've talked to about it. The most challenging thing is that I do mostly episode summaries when it comes to MLP. So you're talking about a half an hour of cartoons, but then like, oh, I want to talk about Gravity Falls, and I have to talk about the entire series in 10 minutes as opposed to just one episode. So you got to kind of pick and choose your battles on what to cover, what not to cover. So it's definitely a different kind of angle. I mean, I've talked with my patrons because I do like a semi-weekly vlog on my Patreon for certain people who pledge that much, where I shoot ideas at them to make sure like I'm not going too far off the beaten path. You know, I'll be like, this is what I'm planning on doing. Are you chill with that? Would you rather see something else? And so there's definitely like talking there to make sure that what I'm planning on doing isn't something where they're all just going to run away. Because, you know, that would leave me in a fair bit of trouble because I still have student loans to pay every month.
Yeah, so I know about those. That was a decade and a half of pure heck. Finpressions. FIM Impressions started it all, but now you do 60-second reviews, Tommy Talks, full reviews of everything from the latest video to movie director M. Strange, whoever the heck that was. It is more of a scattershot, looking to see what resonates with the people. I mean, I know you just said that you talked to some of your people, your Patreons, but are you still thinking like, well, I really need to take this shot at something and see if it actually resonates?
Well, I think what I'm trying to do with the channel right now is like, I still love MLP and I'm still going to talk about it. But I definitely want, especially now that I'm starting to do like sponsorship things and stuff, I want to make sure that the brand is about, quote unquote brand, if you want to get all marketing speak. It's for myself and not so much like just the Fandom channel, because I think I've had a hard time working with some sponsors, probably because when you go to my channel, the first thing you see is like a video talking about Big Horse. So it's making sure the audience or the presentation's correct. Right. So.
Yeah, because once you get into a branding of your own brand, like you need to figure out what that brand states and what that brand's going to be and what it's supposed to say, so that sponsors can come to you. Well, my brand says this. I think you should be with me on that. Like my brand Dusty Cat says motorcycles. Everyone knows I love motorcycles, so I should be going to Harley Davidson for sponsorship, but they laugh at me because that's just not going to happen. So.
Yeah, well, just to make sure that like my kind of projection of who I am is authentic. Most of the stuff that I pick are things that I'm interested in, things that I've recently watched. Like one of the things I'm probably going to do soon is Game of Thrones, because I just recently watched Game of Thrones and I'm in love with it. So I want to do a video talking about how great it is. Right. So that's kind of a bit of a shift away from my usual videos, but I think it's something I'm passionate about. So hopefully my passion will come through in the video and people will respond to it in a good way.
That's the same thing I'm trying to do. Is I want to branch out and do some more of the stuff that I like to do, like comic books and gaming and motorcycles and things like that. So hopefully people will enjoy it going forward. And of course, I have to ask, what's with the hat? I mean, it's a beautiful hat and all, but what's the story behind the hat?
I mean, I guess the closest thing to a story with the hat would start with my character, like my pony character, right? Because I just had him as a stand-in, like an avatar for myself, and he didn't have the hat to begin with. And someone on Tumblr way back in like 2012 had asked like, what's your character's backstory? I'm like, I don't know. He's literally just an avatar. Like, you need to give him a backstory. I'm like, okay. So I came up with this idea that the character was a bard who lived in Trottingham, and he went around and played music on like this like flute sort of thing, and told stories to people, and like, you know, like kids and stuff would come up and he'd tell them stories and things like that. And I was going to do a whole Ask blog around it. And so to differentiate the character from the avatar, I gave him this kind of like bard medieval style hat. And I did the blog for a little while, but I didn't pick up a lot of traction with it, and because I was doing so many other projects at the time, I kind of just fell to the wayside. But I eventually was just on eBay and I found the actual hat in the exact color that
wow.
I'd made it for this blog. So just like destiny. And so I got it. Just because it was like, you know, I was still looking for like some sort of like gimmick and like it's a way for people to recognize me at conventions.
Nice.
Because it wasn't until like I think late last year that I started filming because I didn't have a decent camera. So the people only knew me by my avatar design. Right. They didn't know my face. So it's like, I'm going to convention. People need to recognize me. So I just decided to get the hat in real life, and it just kind of stuck for a while. And yeah, I mean, it was just like started with this weird Ask blog. So the character he lives in Trottingham and he goes around and he tells stories, and that's what he does.
Like Alan the Dale, only not a rooster. Okay.
That is true.
Okay, now we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of what you like to do. Let's speculate, shall we?
Let's do it.
Let's speculate. What do you see in the future for Twilight Sparkle's character arc? A kingdom of her own? Huge fight with the girls that she has to somehow manage to fix? Cult friend, maybe?
Let's see. I mean, right now, she's had, for the first 3 seasons, she had this development arc. Right? She went from this cold, uncaring character who just studied to becoming literally the princess of friendship. And that's kind of where we left off on season 4, with not only has she kind of fully embraced this role, but her friends are there to help her, because as the princess of friendship, you need friends in order to kind of be credible in your position. So that's kind of where we've left off at this point. So I think season 5, based on the San Diego like storyboards that they showed, I think it kind of looked like there was a lot of new locations they're going to. So I think maybe we're going to start going to places beyond Ponyville and going out and trying to like share what they've learned as a group with others. And that's kind of what the when they went to that weird town shaped like the equal sign, and all the ponies had equal signs for their cutie marks. Maybe it was kind of like a loss of identity sort of deal. That was my speculation, and perhaps they're going to try and introduce, like, you know, reintroduce the concept of individuality to this kind of like segmented community. I don't know. I would like to see further development and keeping that group dynamic strong, because a lot of the times with the specials, it kind of almost becomes a Twilight Sparkle show, which is fine, but I really do like the interactions with the other characters, so I'd like to see everyone kind of become plot relevant, I suppose, because now Twilight's arc is kind of complete. She's a princess of friendship, awesome. So now we can kind of shift focus to the entire group now that her kind of like storyline is kind of cemented where it is. That's what I was thinking, because you've got her arc is basically almost stopped now. She's the princess of friendship, so she can continue doing the princess of friendship stuff, right? So she's gone from this little filial to this. Now you've got, okay, you have Rainbow Dash's arc. Will she ever become a Wonderbolt? Right. Will she ever figure out there's no I in team? Will Fluttershy ever have a huge animal sanctuary? Will Rarity ever get that shop in Canterlot? Will, AJ ever, get a second Sweet Apple Acres location somewhere in Trottingham and expand the business? Or, things like that. So let's start focusing a bit more on the back. Yeah, because we do have a lot of outlying kind of character arcs. Even Discord, which is shown by the end of season 4 to have kind of learned something, and I'd like to see the repercussions of that and how he's going to kind of acclimate to the fact that I really do find these people important in my life now. Yeah, that's like I can't do this. I can do funny gag ha-has, but I can't do the element of chaos thing, right? Right. So what's he going to do? How's he going to deal with not being able to spread his chaos? That could be a nice arc there. I like thinking with you. That's awesome. Equestria Girls. I know that you seem to despise it. I like it to the point where I see no harm in its existence. With the ending of Equestria Girls Rainbow Rocks and Sunset Shimmer writing to Twilight in the Magic Book, do you think these two properties are going to be more intertwined in the future, or do you just think they're going to hold that to movies? The thing, I went a couple different directions with the ending of Rainbow Rocks. They clearly are setting it up for Rainbow Rocks 3, which is probably going to be out next year. Yeah. With the whole ending with the actual human Twilight, who they mentioned in the first movie. Now she's on screen, and she's super scientific and realizes that there's weird magic stuff going on. She wants to get to the bottom of it. So that's clear bait for a third movie. Right. The whole thing with Sunset keeping a journal and writing to Twilight, and now that she's the princess of friendship and Sunset needs to learn about friendship, I thought that could be a setup for a possible Equestria Girls series if they wanted to go that direction.
Yeah.
Because, you know, Twilight could become take the role to Sunset that Celestia had taken for her during her kind of progression. So they have that set up easily to do a series if they wanted to. There was a rumor flitting around, I think early this year, about Equestria Academy, which is kind of a series that someone had found some information on, or like a Hasbro, somebody had said it during a toy fair or something. I don't know. I don't remember the story because it's been a while, but I do remember that mentioned in passing at some point from someone. So they could go that direction, and there could be interplay if there's two series going on at the same time. Now that Twilight has found a way to have the portal open at will, they can just kind of bomb back and forth between dimensions if they wanted to go that route. So all the pieces are there to make them intertwined very easily without having to introduce any weird MacGuffin out of the blue right as it starts. All the pieces are there. So if they want to do it, it's pretty easy to do so. Would I want them to do it? It really depends on how it's handled. As I think Rainbow Rocks is much better film than the first one.
Oh yeah, it was.
So going forward, if they continue to treat it and do it well, then I mean I have no problem, because that just means more pony stuff to watch. That's good, and I have no problem with that. So I just think they'll have to handle it carefully. So, and then the big elephant in the room that we don't know anything about is the actual MLP movie that's slated for a couple years down the road.
2017.
What that will have anything to do with either of these properties, or to be something completely separate, who knows? So there's a lot of interesting stuff coming up in the future that we don't know anything about, but it's interesting to think about.
It is interesting. I love thinking about it. I like having an open mind about it. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about one of your latest videos. Did analysis damage the fandom? And I really liked that video. I like that you stepped back and took a look at everything that was happening. And analysis is a lot different than critique. And I don't think a lot of people understand that. And you explained it pretty good. I see an awful lot of critique videos. I don't see a lot of analysis videos. I don't.
Yeah.
And what do you think the remedy could be here? Let's face it, people on the internet are quick to critique anything because it's easy to critique. It's very, very hard to open up your mind and analyze something and come up with an answer. It's really easy just to yell and scream that something is bad. I hate Twilight Sparkle because she's not puce. You know?
Yeah.
Or
No,
I don't like Sunset Shimmer because she became a MarineACU. It's like, no. It's much harder to analyze. But what do you think would be a remedy for this? I mean, do you think all these people are just going to get bored and stop doing it, and the cream will rise to the top and we'll get over it? What do you think?
I think that's probably inevitably going to happen. I think it's already started. You know, people have their favorites who they watch, and that happens just in any community for anything. You know, like I watch a lot of tech videos, but I have like 2 or 3 people I go to because they're the people that I've resonated with the most, and I've stopped actively looking for more people who cover technology because it's just like I got my go-to guys. And that's the same with any kind of niche you're going to find on the internet or anywhere. You know, you read that one magazine, you know, that you subscribe to. You're not going to get every single one that you can find. So I think the community is naturally just going to find some semblance of balance. In terms of like actively trying to fix it, I think there's 2 sides of it. For the people generating the content like myself, you have to realize and like begrudgingly admit that yes, because you're projecting to like, you know, 50, 60, 70,000 people, you have a degree of clout and need to make sure that you're using it responsibly, which, as I said in that video, I didn't really want to admit to myself because I didn't want to let that go to my head. So I spoke very much uncensored, which I don't think was a bad thing to do, but I wasn't taking into consideration what that could have, like the repercussions it could have on people watching it.
Right.
So that was my mistake. And I think if if you're critiquing something, you don't have to censor yourself. You don't want to, but understand that people are going to get upset, you know, if you're just bashing on something, because that's a big problem, not a problem, but something to recognize, because the analysis community is a community within the Brony fandom. What you're talking about is constantly, you know, everyone you're watching is a fan of that property, and you're talking about it every week, as opposed to like that guy with the glasses, who just like, you know, rails on all sorts of things. So it's, but everyone watching your videos loves the property you're talking about. So when you're critical of it, of course, there's going to be some friction there. So people making the videos, you need to recognize that and decide if you want to speak uncensored at the risk of alienating your audience, or if you want to pull back on that and kind of maybe cherry pick what you want to talk about in order to keep everyone satisfied. From the viewer side, though, I think the people watching the videos need to decouple the opinions being spat out of them from the videos and their own. Because I think a lot of people who watch these videos are too sensitive or are taking it to heart too deeply. You know, just because I thought that Maud Pie was kind of uninteresting doesn't mean that she's bad. That was just my interpretation of Maud, and I got huge blowback from that. You know, and at the end of the video that I did on that, I said I still like the episode, but like it's my most disliked video just because like I said I'm not a big fan of Maud, and the whole fandom was like in a tizzy about how awesome she was. So, you know, a lot of the times the dislikes on my videos are proportional to how negative I was, and regardless if I make a really good point or I make a good argument for my thoughts on the matter. So I think people watching the videos, if they want to help improve the situation, need to realize that even if it's a critique, like a review, because like a lot of the episode reviews are that, because you know people want to hear your opinions on the episode, and that's kind of what you're going to do for it. That it's not the end of the world if there's a disagreement, because again, all these videos are subjective just by design. That's just how interpretation works. So, you know, if I sit down and make a 45-minute video about how bad the first Equestria Girls movie was to me, and you loved it, live and let live. It's fine. Like, you know, like don't let that sour you. If watching my videos on something you like and I dislike it makes you dislike that thing, maybe you shouldn't be watching the videos. Or maybe you should sit back and ask yourself why that's happening and if you still want to continue watching the videos in the first place. So I think it's a give and take on both sides in order to kind of reach a happy medium if we want to actively improve the situation.
Yes, let's actively improve the situation, people. So, saying that, who are some of your favorite analysts in the MLP fandom out there right now?
In the MLP fandom?
Yeah, and what makes them entertaining to you?
Well, I think my personal favorite right now, and everyone's great, so everyone has, you know, my favorite right now is definitely T-Bat, the Two Best Brothers channel. I just love the fact that everything they do is like almost completely off the cuff. They're very natural in their presentation. The fact that there's two of them, you get the back and forth, so when there are disagreements, like you have both sides of the equation right there in the one video, so it definitely helps, you know, mitigate the whole argument we were just talking about, where like people get really mad if you project one opinion, because a lot of times they'll disagree with each other.
We lost our internet connection.
No.
Yes, I lost the signal. We're trying to reconnect. Local MP4 is still recording, thank God, but we're gonna see if we can get that back. Come on, reconnect, you sons of. There we go. It's back. So let me get the camera back. No, don't you dare stay to Brony. Go away. There we go. We're back. Hi, guys. I told you internet's kind of derpy tonight, so we're doing the best we can. But we're back with Tommy, Oliver.
I'm still here.
He's still there. So, like I said, we were talking about some of your favorite analysts in the MLP fandom. And go ahead.
Yeah, so my personal favorite probably is T-Bap. Because it's two people doing it, so a lot of the times when there is like, you know, a divisive issue in an episode, you get both sides of the equation, because a lot of the times they don't always agree with each other. It's great because I went to BronyCon last year. I drove with them, and that's when I realized that they're completely unscripted, because they just had like a 3-hour conversation driving from Massachusetts down there, and it was like I got my private own episode of T-Bat, but just on like anime and like everything but ponies, because they were just talking about all this stuff, and it was just an episode of T-Bat, and it was like, this is great. So those guys have a great dynamic. I love them a lot. I really like I like Digi stuff. He's doing mostly anime at this point. He's kind of moved on, which is good for him. He's wanted to do anime for a while now, so he finally was able to make that push. Dr. Wolf is cool. I love Anthony. I've been a fan of his forever. Ever since we did that Camelot Wedding collab, I've been watching his stuff religiously. But yeah, everybody has their own unique flavor, and everyone's doing good stuff. But I would say if I had to pick favorites, it would be T-Bap and Anthony.
Cool. You are on Tumblr, Twitter, YouTube, DA, and probably some stuff I ain't even heard of yet. How do you manage all of this stuff?
Badly.
I have a Tumblr I hardly ever use because I don't know how to use it. I got Twitter. I basically put most of my announcements there. But how do you do all that stuff? Crazy.
I mean, there are easier ways to use them. I should probably start getting into. There's a great site called IFFT, which is if this then that, and it lets you create custom recipes. So like if you post something on Twitter, it'll automatically also post on Tumblr, and it's like an automation sort of thing.
Oh, wow.
I don't use that, but I probably should. Right now it's just all done manually, and I just spend like an hour or so a day on Tumblr, and I'll queue some things I like. Most of the stuff on my Tumblr right now is just reblogs. On Tumblr also, if I make a text post or something on Tumblr, you can set it to automatically tweet that as well.
Okay.
So whenever I make I'll do an announcement on text on Tumblr, and I'll click the button and also automatically tweet it. I have my phone on me at all times, so I get tweets all the time, no matter where I am. I try and just like, whenever I have an interesting thought, I'll tweet it, just to keep me in your timeline. When people are on Twitter. Yes. DeviantArt, I have not used in the last few months because I've been doing so much video stuff. But now that this project's kind of getting back again and going, right, I'll probably be back on DA some more. I also have some shirt designs that I want to do. Okay. So I'll be open up my t-shirt shop again, have a bunch of stuff on there. Nice. I also did some writing on film fiction as well. So I wrote a novel on there, quoting a short novel, I guess, like I think like 60-something thousand words. So I don't know, just kind of like making sure you check everything every day and at least kind of make your presence known in some fleeting fashion. Crazy. So weird. I mean, with an 8-hour-a-day job, it's like there's no freaking way. It's too much to do. It's tough, man.
Before we go to commercial, the last thing. If you could have one sponsor that you've gone after, one sponsor, or one that you want to go after, who would it be?
In terms of a sponsor that I think would work well with my channel, I would love to sponsor with Netflix, because Netflix has a bunch of exclusive series right now that I'm gonna already do videos on. That'd be great to sponsor, like have them sponsor those videos. So like, I want to do a video on BoJack Horseman, which is a Netflix exclusive series. So I can do a video on it, and then like at the end, by the way, this episode's sponsored by Netflix. And then, I think that those would drive performance really well. Yeah, I mean, I just want sponsors who like me.
That'd be awesome. So with that, we're going off to commercial, and when we come back, we'll talk about upcoming conventions, because they'll be going to the next year, and we'll get Screwy in the call. And we'll go through charity work and all that kind of stuff. So don't go nowhere. Hopefully the internet won't go anywhere with us. So we'll be right back.
Every year, 10,000 baby manicores never live to see their first birthday. Those who do will be hunted for their fur, or worse yet, for their stingers, the venom used in voodoo rituals in the farthest reaches of Equestria. You and I can help, along with EMF. For only 5 bits a month, you can sponsor a baby manicore. You'll receive a booklet telling you the name of your little bundle of fur and picture updates every month. Oh, how cute. Your bits will put life-giving medicine into a helpless little body, nourishing food into a little stomach. Please help us here at the Equestrian Manicore Fund and make sure that all of Celestia's creatures are treated with kindness and respect. Can you think of a better reason not to call EMF right now and give these wondrous creatures a chance at life? Call now! If you want to.
That's right, ponies out there. The Equestrian Manticore Fund does wonderful things for the animals in the Everfree Forest, and Fluttershy would love for you to support her on that very fact. And with that, we're back. How are you all doing again? I've gotten some information from Caradwin that it is not us. It is in fact live stream dropping packets. Packet dropper. But yeah, it's live stream. So we're doing the best we can. Hopefully live stream stays together with the duct tape I've been smacking it with for the last 10 minutes. But hey, we're going to go to conventions. There's 2 conventions I know of that have already announced wonderful stuff. One is BabsCon, April 3rd to 5th, 2015. John Lancey, Kathy Westluck will be there. Art vendor panel event applications I think have already closed, but you might want to send some stuff in there because maybe you can squeeze in there at the last minute. So get that done. Everfree Northwest also May 29th through 31st, 2015. John Delancey, Nicole Oliver, and Tabitha St. Germain will all be at that one. So I'm not missing that one. No, not missing that one. There are contests I think is still going on, so check at everfreenw.com for all the details. So last week's charity was Dave gave us Opportunity International, which is a company that does microloans to different people in different impoverished areas of the world. We raised 210 bits for that one. I know it was Thanksgiving, so that probably had something to do with it. But thank you very much, everybody who did give some bits to us for that one. We didn't quite hit our 500 once, maybe once out of a very long string of not making our $500 goal, but that's okay. That's all right. That's just Thanksgiving, and that's everything going on. So thank you very much, everybody who gave us something, but I still have a hat full of names of the people that did give us some money, which is right here. So what we're going to give away is, for that one, because we didn't hit 500, we're going to give away the comic with the Good Samba Arc Part 3. We're going to give away the dog tag. We're going to give away the secret chip fit card with my mug on it, and probably some more stuff that I got upstairs in boxes, so I'll make sure that it's not light. I'll give you that. So with that one, we're going to dig in the hat and pull out this name right here and find out who gets a Statman Dan. You haven't won anything in a while, buddy, so we're going to get that off to you this week. So Statman Dan comes through. Thank you very much, buddy. And we're going to go moving on. So put the hat on. Ooh, it's getting into winter, so I had to get the stocking hat out this week. I got my Brony stocking hat with rainbow dash on it. Nice and colorful. Everybody at work goes, no. I said, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to wear it too. Shush. So, yeah, the guys at work, they're all great. Let's see. So Tommy has picked the SPCA. And that is a wonderful group that takes care of animals in need. So we're going to do the SPCA of San Francisco. We do know that it's in this day and age that people still do stupid stuff to animals. Don't ask me why, because if you're a human being, why would you do that? Why? The SPCA helps animals and helps the prevention of cruelty to animals. And they do need help, especially during the holidays. People get puppies during the holidays, and then by February they're rambunctious and they're given to the SPCA. Same thing happens during Easter. People get rabbits to their kids, and by July the kids are done with them. So these are the kind of things that the SPCA does. Is they take care of these animals to try to find them homes. And it's just the right thing to help animals. I mean, we all love ponies around here, don't we? Yes, we do. So for giveaways on this one, we get another box of Smarties. So I have a big, huge thing of this. Thank you, Margin. I love you too, but I think you're trying to make me a diabetic. Give me a freaking case of those things. I've got this really cool play pack, Grab and Go, which we found, which is kind of neat. It's got Princess Cadence right there. It's got all kinds of crayons and stickers and things. That's kind of cool. Let's see what else I got here. I've got another comic book. I've got, let's see, number 12, My Little Pony with the Shining Armor Cadence cover. You actually reviewed this one there, Tommy. This was the Shining Armor Cadence arc, which I thought was great.
It's fantastic.
It's fantastic. I think it's the best arc they've had. So that one was kind of cool, especially because it's in the 80s and that's my era, so it just talked to me. It did. And then we also have some Nurse Redheart here. So a fan sent me about 3 of these things, so we're going to get those going right now. So that's the exclusive Rainbow Power Nurse Redheart that you could get over at Walgreens. So we got that one. Has anybody been into Walgreens lately? Have you? Go into Walgreens. They have like a bajillion pony things. I mean, really. I mean, they've got the comb hair, ponies that are huge. They've got that. They've got these ponies that you can paint yourself. I mean, there's tons of stuff. I mean, they stepped up to the plate. So if you want like pony Christmas stuff, go to Walgreens because they got tons. So with that's the stuff if you give us anything, right? If we break 500, okay. Not only will I give you my mustache card, not only will I give you the Blazing Wildfire card for Twilight Sparkle's secret shipfic folder, but I also have this pack of cards, which is all the specials from BronyCon from last year. I mean, look at this. We got Like a Star. We got the magnificent main event. We've got Maud Pie Really Likes Rocks. And we got the special Test Subject Shirley. You're going to get all those cards if we break 500. And not only that. No, I mean, everybody can get these cards, you know, so the cards are awesome, but, you know, you can get them from me. But I have another copy of a script page cover from Charlotte Fullerton. This one is from Putting Your Hoof Down. And the working title for that one was When Push Comes to Shove. And this is signed by her, right there. And the funny thing on this one is that she had to change it. You can see right down there at the bottom, there's some red ink. It says Outline was done January 27th, 2011, but the notes were due January 31st, 2011. Copyright 2011, Studio B, back when they were called Studio B. So that's a cover of a script signed by her. So that's for $500. And if you're really, really nice, and you ask me nicely, see that bag back there on the wall? That was the special bag they gave away during San Diego Comic-Con this year for, you know, Hasbro Toy Shop. And that's got the Maniac on it. It's also signed by Charlotte Fullerton. So if you're really nice, I might even stick that in the box. But we got to get $500. All right? So get out there. Tell your friends. Go to manliestbrony.com. Give a couple bits, because it is the giving season. It is Christmas times coming up really, really soon. So with that, we move on. And right now, we need to find Screwball again. Screwball. Where are you? I'll take Twy-Cane and find if he's underneath this table. Are you there?
What?
Oh, there he is.
You gonna stab me at that thing?
Yeah, I'm gonna stab you with Twy-Cane here. But I couldn't find you. So, hey, what's up, Screwy?
Oh, not too much.
Yeah.
Going through quite the winter already.
I know, man. You're in Alberta, where like the wind comes screaming down the plains, but it happens to have icicles in it.
Oh yeah. And there was a lot of snow. Not as much as say where is it, Buffalo, but
Buffalo, yeah.
Still a lot of snow we had. So
Lots of
I
snow.
couldn't make it to the Black Friday sale, so I was snowed in.
Dude, you couldn't. What? You're retail. Are you telling me that you were snowed in and didn't go to work for the Black Friday sale?
I have to drive about 25 minutes to get to town.
Wow. Which means
Yeah.
you got to skip Black Friday because you were snowed in.
Yeah.
I hate you. I had to work all weekend. Black Friday
poor
weekend.
you.
Poor me.
Oh my goodness. And I know
Yeah.
how you Americans love your
Yeah. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't too
It
bad.
wasn't? Okay.
No, we had a good Black Friday, but an okay Saturday. Sunday was a little better, but we did pretty well on Friday.
What about your Cyber Monday?
No, are you kidding? I've been here all day working on the show for these people. So, and
Oh my goodness.
yeah. So have the people asked any questions?
Yep, I got a few stuff. 1 second. There we go. Oh, for fudge cakes.
Fudge.
There we go. I think my IRC crashed.
Wow.
Oh, no, it didn't. There we go. Now it's going. Okay, so I was branding the questions. So I'll where did I put it? So this one's from Moon Solace. For you, Tommy. What gave you the idea for your OC?
It was mostly just trial and error in terms of design. I tried to, again, he was originally just an avatar for myself. So I gave him like my mustache and my kind of like chin scruff and a black hair, because I have black hair, and I wanted to have something kind of pastel color. It was originally just going to be like either brown or like gray or something like that. That's too boring. I mean, all the horses are all like crazy pastel candy colors.
Right.
So I eventually decided on like a blue, and the blue shifted as I keep redrawing him, because I've never smart enough to just take the eyedropper tool and like copy the blue. So he went from like this like kind of like greenish blue to like a really dark blue, and now it's like kind of a lot lighter blue. The new version I designed based on like the traditional unicorn design. So it has like the cloven hooves and like the lion's tail, and I made him a lot taller. Just kind of like more how I would draw a horse, and less trying to directly emulate the My Little Pony style.
More Rankin Bass.
Yeah, and like
less Hasbro.
Yeah, a really big influence was I started reading a webcomic called Heavenly Nostrils, which is amazing. If anyone hasn't read it, you need to check out Heavenly Nostrils. It's basically Calvin and Hobbes. If Calvin was a little girl instead of a little boy, and instead of having an imaginary tiger, he hangs out with a unicorn, but is a real unicorn. So it's this little girl, and she hangs out with a real unicorn, and just the unicorn just lives at the house.
Okay.
And it's the same kind of idea of just like these like deep kind of like philosophical concepts like coming from the mouth of a little child, interspersed with very childish kind of activities. So if you're a fan of Calvin and Hobbes, you'll probably love this. And also the artist for the comic is a My Little Pony fan, so there's MLP references and like strips about MLP all the time. So it's absolutely fantastic. So if you haven't checked out Heavenly Nostrils,
we'll have to figure
definitely give it a look.
Yes, we had a guest star of Carowin walking down the stairs earlier. Hi, Carowin. Yes. So next.
Sorry, I'm so distracted on the IRC. I was having problems with it off for a bit. So this one, so this one's from for you, Tony, from Silverstream. Would you ever collab with someone on a video who is not known?
Who's not a what?
Unknown.
Who's not known?
Oh, who's not known.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'll collab with people who I find are making interesting stuff that I like. That's how me and Anthony did our collab, because back in the day, neither of us were known. I think I had like 400 subscribers and he had like 600 back when we started talking and decided to collab on Canterlot Wedding. So, I mean, I don't do collabs because I'm trying to like milk fame off of somebody. I just like, I find someone who makes cool stuff and I'm like, it'd be cool if we did a video together. I haven't done a collab in a long time just because I'm so like such a control freak. So, I mean, Anthony kind of just took our video and ran with it. But I had done all these drawings I was going to do for like a really I had like 80 drawings for this collab video.
Wow.
And then he was like, oh, we only need to use this many. But then he made his own video. So we were both like fighting for control throughout the entire process. Because making that video took 8 months to do from start to finish. Going back and forth. Because he's Australia, so he's in Australian time. I'm here on the East Coast. So we're just like night and day. So syncing up and talking about it was difficult. But it took forever, and eventually we just settled on what we did. I thought it was pretty good, but like we started working on that video like 2 weeks after Canterlot Wedding aired. It was topical when we started. By the time we were like halfway through season 3 when we got it out, so just like, oh well, okay, that didn't really work out the way we planned. But in terms of collabs, yeah, I mean, I haven't done collabs in a while, but subscriber count does not affect your ability to collab with me. It's just what you make, and if I think we will work well together.
Next.
So this is from RBZ Questions for All. How was your Thanksgiving, and how many people attended your Thanksgiving feast?
Go, Tommy.
My Thanksgivings are always very small. I have a very small family. And this year was actually our smallest Thanksgiving ever. It was one extra person outside of who lives in the house came to our Thanksgiving smorgasbord. So it was very small, it was very quiet, but it was no less fun, and the food was just as good. So more food for me.
Yes, we had, let's see, me and Amy and Chris and Nathan and Baron and so we had about 10. So it was fun, and then we had a table in there with food on it. We all ate over there, and it was great. It was lots of fun. We have an indoor turkey deep fryer, right? So Lance puts the roast in the oven, and then all of a sudden he figures out that the turkey's frozen. Yeah, so he puts it in the sink to thaw it, and then finally he cooks the turkey like at 10 o'clock at night after we've already eaten, so we can have it during the week. And we've been eating.
Oh my goodness!
Been eating turkey all week, so it was awesome.
It takes so long to cook too.
Not in a deep fryer.
Oh, what?
Get that sucker done in about 22 minutes.
Turkey.
Deep fried turkey.
What?
Yes. Dude, Americans will deep fry anything. We'll deep fry turkey.
You Americans are so weird. See, I've done deep fry before. Me and Logan always like did Oreos and pickles and that sort of thing, but we've never done that.
Turkey. Deep fried turkey. That's what we did.
Maybe that's what we'll do next.
It was delicious. Next.
Let's see. Yeah. Ooh. This one's God dang, I can't even read today. Dear sweet Celestia. EFN Pony 6816. There we go. Now I can actually. To Tom, will analyst community wait. This is a typo, I think. I think it's which analyst community will continue after will the community analyst community continue after the show's end?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, again, like, I'm still hugely, like, a fan of Invader Zim, which has been off the air for probably almost 10 years now. So I don't think canceling the show or ending the show is going to sour anyone to it. I think you'll probably have a lot less people, because I think there are a lot of people doing pony stuff because they're trying to get famous, which is completely wrong-headed. So you're going to have less, but that just means it's going to be easier for the people who actually care to rise to the top. So, you know, there hasn't been a new Star Wars film in forever, and people still love Star Wars. So I think it'll still be there. I don't see it dying unless we're all just kind of done with it. But I think there's always going to be someone who likes the show, because it's always going to be around, and people are always going to be discovering it.
There are kids that are, like, hyped for the new Star Wars movie that weren't born when the last Star Wars movie was finished.
Isn't that crazy?
Isn't that crazy? I mean, and that was the end of the 6, right? And then all of a sudden, we've got the new one. And nobody, you know, you got kids that are like 6 and 7 now that are freaking over Star Wars, who never saw the originals, ever. Well, maybe they saw them on videotape, but they didn't see them, you know, up till this point, and they're freaking over the trailer that just came out. What really freaked me out was that somebody, a fan, put it together, a fake trailer, and everybody thought it was real. That was good.
The best thing I've seen so far with the trailer is someone made a George Lucas special edition of the trailer.
Oh, that was funny. That was funny.
God.
Oh, that was hilarious.
I've been seeing so many images like that lightsaber that looks like a
the cross-guarded lightsaber.
Yeah.
There's an actual term for it, what the sword's called, but I'm not gonna say it. But
Claymore.
I seen one where the guy made it look like where it was a utility knife or whatever,
like a utility knife.
or you know what's it called, military knife that comes out like scissors and a corkscrew and all sorts of things coming out of it.
That was funny.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, that's I honestly, when I saw that trailer, I thought it was just it seems too fan made.
Yeah.
This is from RBZ for you, Dusty. Did you finish reading the Daring Do books yet?
I haven't. I've been bad. I've been very, very busy trying to do things, and I have not. I haven't sat down and actually read them. I will do that next week. I will. I have a video I want to film, which has something to do with those books, and that has gotten me on a mental block about reading the books. I need to read them. I know that they're sitting right there, I need to finish reading them. GM Barrow can smack me next time she sees me. Jillian, right here, right in a kisser, smack me.
I might smack you.
Yeah, I know. I'm being a slouch. I'll take care. I'll do it. I'll take care of it this week. Next.
Bert. From Flare Cobra. What's one thing you wish any major PonyCon would do to make it better?
Ooh,
that's a toughie.
That's a toughie. A lot of them do really good stuff. What about you, Tom? What do you think?
Comp me for going. There's so many cons I want to go to, and I just can't afford to make them all.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted to go to BabsCon last year, and I just didn't have, you know, the coin to go
you
all the way across the country.
Yeah.
So it's difficult traveling to all of them. So I'm hoping to go to at least a couple this upcoming year, but we'll see how my wallet treats me.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I basically crisscrossed the planet twice this year, and man, was it expensive. But yeah, it's. I think that you're going to see a shift in PonyCons. I think you're going to see 2, 3 VAs or people that work on the show guests, and then you're going to have a lot of community guests, because I think a lot of people are going to these cons to see people like Tommy and AC Race Best and Saber Spark. They're going to see these guys, right? And Basic and Black Griffin. And they're going to see those guys as much as they're going to see VAs and people that work on the show. And I think you're going to see a bit of a shift this year, because we've been doing these cons for, what, 3 years now? And,
yeah, at least.
And a lot of the VAs have been to a lot of the cons, and a lot of people have seen them already. And I know that Peter New and Andrea Libman go to almost every one. I mean, and they're great. They're great people. I love them. but I'm sure they're getting bored of the questions. That they get the same questions at every show, so they might take a break from it. Who knows? It's one of those things where I think you might see a shift in the next year or two that they're going to start doing more community guests and things like that. So at least that would be great for my pocketbook. That would be nice. But and I want to thank Milwaukee and Ponyville Cider Fest for doing that for me, because it was the first time I was ever a pure guest where I paid for almost nothing, and it was great, and I love them, and I thank you.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Crystal Fair St. Louis for doing that for me a couple months ago. So that was fantastic. Yeah.
Yep. And as a guest, I bend over backwards for them, because they had me there, and I said, dude, you paid for me for the weekend. Whatever you want me to do, just tell me. So. But other than that, next.
This one's from Striker. I always say the last name wrong. Vaughn? Question for everyone. What is your favorite Christmas special? Yeah, it's December 1st. We can talk about that now.
We can. It's now December. We can talk about Christmas. Yay! I think for me, it's really a toss-up, because I was raised by being sat in front of the digital tube before there was even flat screens. And we actually counted down the days on CBS at 7 p.m. on a Saturday night, usually it was December 12th, when you would see A Charlie Brown Christmas. And it was the only time CBS would ever play it. And they had this rotational, CBS special bumper that as soon as it came on, as a little kid, you were bouncing because you were watching that special. Then a couple of days later, you would get the Rankin Bass, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. It was sort of like an anticlimactic at that point, because Charlie Brown was the first one they ever showed every year. So basically, I think Charlie Brown Christmas is my favorite. How about you, Tom?
I'm thinking, does Die Hard count?
I'll let it pass.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm saying yes to that one.
But the problem is Die Hard isn't a Christmas special, because they don't play it as a special every year.
Sometimes they do.
Sometimes they do.
If I was gonna go like legit Christmas special, oh man, I haven't watched any in a while, which is kind of odd. But I guess I really did like the stop motion Rudolph back in the day. As a little kid, I was always fascinated by stop motion as like a technique. Mm-hmm. It was really interesting. It's like, oh, the action figures come to life, something like that. Because I was a huge action figure buff as a little kid. Mm-hmm. So I made like stop motion videos, or tried to, with like my parents' old like VHS film camera back in the day. Because I was just really intrigued by it, because I watched Gumby and the Rudolph special and stuff. So stop motion always appealed to me just from a visual aspect. So I guess I'd probably go with that. That's what I watched the most as a kid.
Cool.
I loved I actually got Nightmares from was it the Nightmare Before Christmas? There was the real life actors one that's quite a bit old. Yep. As soon as it came to the Ghost of Christmas Future, oh my goodness, I had to like run away. I hated it as a child.
You know that the Rankin Bass Rudolph is 50 years old this year.
Oh my god.
50th anniversary.
Holy cow.
Yep. I'm 46, which means it's only 4 years older than I am. And it's crazy to think that I was born right around the time that was made. It was crazy.
It's crazy how it's lasted that long.
It's crazy how it's lasted that long. I mean, basically they did new animation. I was watching TV at work the other day, I think it was on CBS actually, where they had Rudolph and the Snowman walk off a set, right? And they walk through a movie theater, a movie studio. And as they're walking along, people are wishing them, happy 50th anniversary, from all the different shows on the channel. It was kind of funny, but it was really kind of cool.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Next.
I'll save that one.
Oh no.
Do I have to get out the apple pie cider for that one? Should I pour myself a shot?
It's not really a thing that I enjoy, but many others do, so I'm just gonna leave that one for later.
Okay.
No phone. Stop texting me.
No phone.
No phone. Okay, so I never knew about this, honestly. I really didn't. But Flare Cobra actually asked, what do you think of the upcoming Equestria Girls holiday special?
You mean the comic book? The comic book?
So it's a comic book. Okay, because I didn't really know.
I'm looking very much forward to that because my favorite artist right now, Tony Fleece, is working on it. So I'm much looking forward to having it in my grubby little paws.
I did not know about it. That is interesting. I've fallen behind on the comics because I know. I don't have money to keep buying them. And then I fell back. Originally, I stopped keeping up with them because my car broke down and I couldn't drive to the comic book store because I bought physical copies.
Yeah.
So
Humble Brony Bundle just put out a huge number, like all the comics for like, what is it? 50?
Yeah, it's super cheap. I think it was like between $8 and $15.
Between $8 and $15, you get all the comics.
Pretty legit. So
legit there. But yeah.
Wasn't there that Humble Bundle?
Yeah, that was it. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Humble Brony Bundle. It's like $8 to $15 and you can get all the comics in digital form. All of it.
Except for
everyone who hasn't read them. No excuse.
Digital.
No excuse. What?
Faggle digital. I love my physical.
I love my physical copies too. In fact, I go every other Thursday to the comic book store because it's the Brony meetup, and mostly it's not a Brony meetup. It's basically the guys who play the card game show up, and I've gone the last couple of months. Hi guys, how you doing? And I'd show up, and they're surprised that I show up, and I BS with them a little bit, and someday I'll bring my cards so they can teach me the game, so they can whoop my butt, as Fluttershy so succinctly puts. You know, I don't know how to whoop butt, but hopefully they can teach me. Next.
Okay. This one's for you, Dusty, from TipsyBot. If you were a WWE wrestler, what would your name / gimmick and finisher be?
Oh, I can tell you right now because when I was training in Tulsa, Oklahoma, to be a wrestler, because I did do that, I was about a month away from getting my own first match, and me and a very good friend of mine from Springfield, Missouri, had come up with the whole thing. And this is the way it was going to go. You're going to love this, because I've told nobody in this fandom what this was, so get ready, this is good. So he was going to dress up like Colonel Sanders, and he was going to have a cane, and he was going to be my orator. I wasn't going to say a word, because I was going to be a wild man character, where I was going to be the wildcat, where he found me in the wilds of back Oklahoma, taught me how to wrestle, and basically I was going to have like stripes painted on me and the whole thing, and my finisher I'd throw my opponent off the ropes. When he came at me, I was going to take my claws out and I was going to hit him in the chest and do just this. He'd fall straight down and be like a chest press with claws straight into his, out like this, like I was grinding my claws into his chest, and it would either be a submission or basically he'd be out, and that's what my finishing move would be. I was going to be the Oklahoma Wildcat. But it never happened because I hurt my back.
Oh no.
Yep, never happened. So, but I was that close to actually getting an actual match.
Tommy, would you have a WWE name / gimmick or something like that you could think of?
I don't even know how I would do that. I'm like not a fighter at all. I would just get like my butt kicked.
Yeah. I could see Tommy as a high flyer, right? And his gimmick would be he would come out in the hat, right? And he would be a medieval character. He'd come out in the green tights with the big pointy-toed shoes with a mandolin, right? And his whole gimmick would be he'd be on the mic actually orating in rhyme while playing the mandolin, and he'd say all these really great things like, "I'm going to kick your butt," while playing the mandolin really sweetly.
And then I just get destroyed.
And then you'd actually hit people with the mandolin, sort of like the Honky Tonk Man did. He never won anything. He kept smashing guitars over people's heads, right? So you'd basically be the mandolin smasher.
Someone's gonna draw that now.
Yes, do it. Do it. The tag team of the Oklahoma Wildcat and the mandolin smasher. There you go. Love it. And we'll go on tour with the Equestrian Wrestling Federation.
Yes.
Yep. I see it
Oh
now.
my goodness.
It's awesome. I love it. Next.
So this one actually, not really a question, but more like this is from Pink Pearl Apple, and I know Dusty that she's gonna send you out a mysterious box.
Mysterious box.
Do you, she wants me to basically say, well, one of the things is that's actually she's putting into it. There's 3 VAs have agreed to donate autographs to the mystery box, which may later come out, and these 3 VAs have to do with Rainbow Rocks.
Oh, okay.
Because I know she's sending that out to you, which I'm guessing we can use that towards.
Yes, the Christmas mystery box, which will be probably the final giveaway of the year on the final show of the year, the last Monday. So I think that'll be her box. I
seen who the last Monday was too. I totally cheated.
Did you totally cheat?
I totally cheated. I couldn't help it.
Totally cheat. Moving on. Next.
Oh goodness, this one is. This guy's been bringing quite some pretty interesting ones. This one's from Silverstream Bomb. What is the weirdest cosplay you have ever seen?
Ooh. Huh. I don't know, because I don't actually find cosplay all that weird. I think that if somebody loves something enough to put in that kind of time and effort into making a costume, I won't say that it's weird. I will say that,
How about unique then?
Good on ya. So I think the most unique one I will say is that I think the first Equestria Northwest, the first Northwest I went to, somebody had made a Stilts Celestia.
Oh, that one!
Where,
yes.
Yeah, where the head was a little small, the neck was a little long, and the legs were a little long. But, dude, good on you for doing that. I mean, just being able to walk around in it is good on you. You know, if you love Celestia that much to make that thing and then go out in public in it, good on you. Absolutely. So, I would say that as most unique, I think would be that one. Especially when the guy who was in the Scootaloo costume was riding him.
I was just thinking about that.
Yeah. I need to find that picture. I need to find that picture for the YouTube upload because that was a great picture.
And plus, that was an amazing costume truly amazing costume that he has.
Mm-hmm.
What about
you, Tom?
All right, I have 2. I have a non-pony and I have a pony one.
Okay.
So the first, I'll do the non-pony first. I went to New York Comic Con 2010, and they had the most ridiculous costume I've ever seen. I'm actually going to show you a picture so you can understand my flooredness.
Okay.
It was a steampunk Iron Man.
A steampunk Iron Man? Really?
It was
this right now.
masterfully crafted.
Oh wow! I will put this up on the YouTube. Oh my goodness!
Oh my goodness!
So I saw this guy walking around, and the lights worked, and it moved, and everything. It was ridiculous.
That's ridiculous.
It stole the entire show. Yeah, everyone lost it when they saw this guy because he has gears that turn on the back of the costume and everything. It's crazy.
I got it.
So that was probably hands down the best cosplay I've ever seen. Probably the coolest / cutest pony cosplay I've ever seen was at BronyCon 2013. There was this little girl. She had to be no older than 5. It was it was me, it was DB Pony, and I think Paleo was there too. We were just hanging out in the hallway in between panels, and there was this little girl in the edge of the hallway. She's running around in circles. We don't know what she was doing, but she had this Rainbow Dash jacket on. And we're like, oh, that's cute, little girl in a Rainbow Dash jacket. Cool, she likes the ponies. And then I was like, wait a minute. She has little wings on too, but the wings are orange, and her hair is spray dyed purple. So she was cosplaying Scootaloo, cosplaying Rainbow Dash. And it was adorable, and she was just totally having a good time running around pretending to fly and stuff. So it was one of those things I wish I had a photo of because she was just adorable and it just totally worked. So
that's the thing I love when I go to these conventions, when I see the kids that are between 5 and 15 just having a gas.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter that we're there at all. They're just having a good time, and their parents love it. And it's oof. Yeah.
at Las Pegasus. There was this guy who had an amazing Scootaloo costume because when he had a scooter, he had like this awesome like orange getup, and he had these little wings on his back. But as soon as he got on that scooter and he started kicking and going along, the wings would actually start flapping.
Oh, I remember that.
And it was the coolest thing. I just loved it.
I remember that. That was good.
Yep, that was a good one. I remember him being at the mustache competition.
He was too, yeah.
Yep. I still remember those pretty well.
Nope.
Oh, so this one, let's see, yeah. Oh, so this one's from Marjan Line, my very good friend.
Yes.
Question for all. If you could change or add something that's happened in any of the 4 seasons of My Little Pony, what would it be?
Oof. That's a tough one. I would add an episode where we meet the Pegasus families. I would add that somewhere in the first 4 seasons because it feels like it's missing. It feels like we've met everybody else's families, but we haven't met Scootaloo's or Rainbow Dash's or Fluttershy's families. Why? We saw Rainbow Dash's dad in a flashback, which means he exists. We saw that Scootaloo has a house somewhere, but we didn't see her parents. And we haven't seen Fluttershy's family at all. That's what I think is missing. How about you, Tom?
I definitely agree with you on the families, especially Scootaloo. I would say I'd probably want an episode that focuses on the daily life of Celestia and Luna, because they've always been shown as like these like regal figures and like, you know, like, but we haven't seen much of their character outside of just like being like expositors
being royalty.
Wisdom. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like we've seen Celestia likes her cake, but like, what's her day like? You know,
that was probably the most mortal thing that they've shown towards Celestia. Yeah. That it shows her like pigging on cake, and it makes them feel like, hey, now they seem more, quote unquote, not like quote unquote, I wouldn't say human, but like pony.
More
like
pony
they seem more. More.
Probably my favorite moment with the sisters, or like one of the sisters, was actually in an episode that a lot of people aren't huge fans of, like including myself. Even though it was okay. It was A Bird in the Hoof. When Celestia comes and has a meal at Sugar Cube Corner, and the cakes keep refilling her tea every time she takes a sip, and she trolls them, and it's just like a subtle little thing. She's trying to keep everyone at ease, and like everyone's freaked out. The only one who's like totally just chill about everything is her, and she's just like a normal person, not like being like regal or anything. And like I want to see more of that.
Yeah, I want to see more of that too. I'm getting a signal. I'm getting a signal through the waves, through the buzz, from the mirror. I think that Joe Stevens is trying to get through. Joe, is that you? Joe? I think I got him. Okay. Joe Stevens, straight from the desk in Ponyville right now.
Thank you, Dusty Cat. This just in! A board of inquiry from the Equestrian Games and the Burning Duck, performing various tests, interviews, and the use of a Large Hadron Collider, have confirmed that Bulk Biceps, tiny-winged, muscle-bound pony of the Ponyville Flyer team, is a turkey. The board initially investigated Bulk Biceps, otherwise known as Snowflake or Belleza Blanco, for use of illegal substances, specifically muffins. As you know, muffins have been banned from the Equestria Games since the exploding blueberry incident of 2007, and Applejack's Brown Betties were close enough to muffins to raise suspicion. Upon seeing his tiny wings, massive bulk, enormous chin, and appreciation for floral-themed costumes, the investigators concluded that Bulk Biceps could not be a pony. This would not be out of the ordinary for Ponyville, as studies have concluded that other ponies are actually members of other species disguised as ponies, such as how Rarity is a sentient marshmallow, or Pinkie Pie is a being from beyond reality composed of pure energy and held together with bubblegum. The initial hypothesis was that Bulk Biceps was a mouse in some kind of pony bodysuit, or Bruce Campbell's albino twin, or a young man from Fresno. But research concluded that Bulk Biceps is in fact a turkey. But it all makes sense, really. He has small wings, flies slow, has a tendency to show off, and has been stuffing himself with brown apple betties. The fact that he has been spotted trying to place Rarity on top of a tray of sweet potatoes has been not only confusing, but further proof of his turkey nature. More importantly, this is complete proof of Scootaloo's parentage. The rumor has long persisted that Bulk Biceps is Scootaloo's father, and now that we know Bulk Biceps is a turkey, we know for certain he's Scootaloo's dad, since, as you know, Scootaloo is a duck. When asked if he was a turkey, Bulk Biceps replied with, "Yeah!" When he asked if he was related to Bruce Campbell, he replied, "Yeah!" When we asked if he was in fact the walrus, he replied, "Goo goo gachoo!" I'm Joe Stevens, and this has been a news brief from the Equestria Inquirer. Back to you, Dusty Cat.
And that was Joe Stevens, straight from the desk in Ponyville. And that was an amazing report, don't you think, Screwy? Amazing.
Yes.
I mean, geez, can you imagine Tyler being a turkey? I mean, he is a bit of a turkey, but, you know.
It's never come across me. Like, I've hanged with that man so many times, but it's just like...
It's amazing.
All this time he was a turkey.
All this time he's been a turkey.
This freaks me out. But that doesn't change our friendship.
No, not at all. No.
I can just tell everyone now that I have a turkey as a best friend. There we go.
Me too. You know, I have to keep him away from my mom because my mom shoots turkeys. But there you go.
Oh, jeez.
But yeah.
Turkeys.
And we're back. We're back with Tommy Oliver. How do you react to that report that Bulk Biceps is actually a turkey?
It's I don't know, the guy's stuff he does is always fantastic. So I mean, Joe Stevens is great, and all of his stuff is fantastic. I don't watch it enough, honestly. I've watched a lot of it back in the day, but
yeah, it's much better now that we can just get him on like every couple of weeks and you do one like concentrated funny, because now it's gotten really, really good. Thank you very much, Joe, at the desk in Ponyville. So hopefully we can get you more through the ether, because as soon as live stream stops derping, then maybe we can get some more connection to you. And hopefully it clears itself up by 2 weeks from now, because we're going to have an awesome guest, and we'll have Joe Stevens back. But right now we're here with Tommy Oliver, and we've got about 10 to 12 minutes left, so let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Rolling. Let's go.
Rolling. So this one is also from Silverstream Bomb. This is the question I wanted to push off because, oh my lord. So this one is for you guys. Who is your favorite ship?
Who's my favorite ship?
Favorite relationship? Because I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's definitely the Titanic.
The USS Enterprise.
Yes. Oh my goodness. No, realistic, unrealistic relationship in My Little Pony.
Ooh. I think the most unrealistic would probably be Fluttershy and anybody other than Big Mac. Okay, because that's just not going to happen. I think my favorite ship, as it were, is probably, Vinyl and Octavia. Just the two opposites are correct. I mean, I've watched enough, The Odd Couple back in the day. I think that would be a completely hilarious series if they just broke those two off into their own series. It'd be worth watching every time. How would you, Tommy?
Well, most people who follow me on social media know that Rare Jack's my OTP. Mm-hmm. So again, opposites attract is great. I love their chemistry, quote unquote chemistry, in the series.
Yes.
Most unrealistic ship. I don't know, Derpy and Celestia.
There we go. There's a round one.
That's an unrealistic ship right there. I think another unrealistic ship is actually Rainbow Dash and Soren, because Soren is not going to date somebody who's trying to get into the Wonderbolts and ruin their chance to get in, because fraternization is not usually a good thing in the military.
That's true.
I think that's very unrealistic that those two would actually hook up. As much as it would be really cool, I think it's fairly unrealistic.
Keep it professional.
Keep it professional. That professionalism.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. Next.
1 second.
Isn't he cute when he does that, Tommy?
I do that.
So
wait,
cute.
what?
You do. You go.
Yeah, I know I do. I tried to cut it.
It's cute. I like it.
I do that all the time. I don't know why I do it. I just do it. It's sort of like a I don't know what it is.
I don't know.
Just a verbal tick.
It's just a verbal tick. How I like say "what the fudge" all the time, or fudge cakes.
Fudge cakes.
I do that all the time. But that's just because I'm censoring myself. I'm really good at censoring myself when I'm on air. Really good. But so this one is from.
Resident CPU. I'll stay burning my friends. Now, you know what? What would be James Justice's ship, right? He couldn't be shipped with soggy milk.
Do.
Oh yeah.
Easily Daring Do.
Easily Daring Do. Daring
That
Do
man
and James
loves
Justice.
Daring Do.
Yes, Daring Do and James Justice. Off
Oh.
in the jungles of.
Oh, I just thought.
You
of
got
bad.
the alliteration going on.
I just thought of bad because it's like
What?
if he loves Daring Do so much, then and I'm saying that we got ship him because he likes that character.
Yeah.
But I like Sombra, so I'm taking that mentality back. No, he's
No.
dead.
No.
There we go.
What if Soggy Milk was actually female?
Oh, that'd be there we go. Opposites attract.
Opposites attract. You know, little.
That's a gross name for a pony, though.
It is. It is. Almost as bad as Pizza Hut.
Pizza pony.
Pizza Pony.
Okay, so what we got from James?
What we got from James?
Question for all. What is one thing that's happened to you since you joined the fandom that has a special meaning for you?
What about you, Tom?
I mean, this is kind of the stock answer, but just all the amazing people I've met, you know? I was very much aloof and by myself before joining the community and meeting all these awesome people, and I distinctly remember when I first started watching the show that, like, when I was still not sold on it, I remember that, like, it had to rise above its subtitle because I thought "friendship was magic" was a ridiculous catchphrase. and you know, turn around and here I am with like all these people like I can't imagine living without at this point. So it looks like the joke was on me.
Joke's on you, buddy. Yeah. For me, I think it's I'll go with that too. It's like all the wonderful, incredible people that I've met and worked with and collabed with. From AC and Saberspark and Black Griffin and all these people, everybody who's been on the show has been awesome. The VAs, but I think the one thing that really sticks out to me of anything that's happened to me at any of the times I've been to anywhere is that having Nicole Oliver take me aside and say, "We need to talk." I'm thinking Princess Celestia is taking me to the backwood shed and gonna break me. It's like, but no, it was actually a wonderful conversation that we had because she wanted to talk to me, and it was really a poignant little moment in my life that somebody I looked up to basically wanted to look me up and wanted to talk about things.
That's awesome.
Going on. So yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, Screwball was there for that one. He was.
Yep. Mine would probably be two things. Being on this show for sure. Dusty popping that question is, do you want to be on the show? And that was just the highlight of being in the fandom, and just that occurring has changed everything. Another would have to be just over the summer. Getting to hang out with some of my bestest buddies, Buttons and Marjan, in Vancouver, and spending 10 days with them. And then on that side note, Michael Dobson invited me to hang out with him and his son through an entire Tuesday was just unbelievable in itself that he took his free time to hang with me, and I still thank him, but I'm still so shy to talk to him because it's like it just is. But yeah, that's basically my highlights of this fandom, is that this fandom has changed so much for my life and for everything. So,
and we love you, Screwball.
I love you all too, everyone, listeners, you guys, everyone.
Yep. Don't ever forget it. Next.
This is almost on the same topic. This is from Ardale. Question for all. Favorite convention moment?
Too many to count. What about you, Tom?
Oh man, there's a ton of great moments. I think just I would have to be, I guess, a tie between when I did my first panel at BronyCon 2013 and just like the huge turnout and like everyone who just like, wanted to talk to me was like crazy. I'd never experienced anything like that before. I was like on the verge of tears the entire like first day I was there, and like this is weird. It's real all of a sudden. So that just took me by surprise. And then another great moment during 2013 was it was me, DB Pony, DigiBrony, and we'd all just randomly met up in the hallways. We decided to just sit down. DB took out his guitar, and we all just started singing songs. And we attracted like a bunch of people. And eventually all just started like, spaghetti everywhere, just singing right in the middle of the hallway, not caring what was going on. It was really fun. And someone recorded it, and now it's on YouTube. And so I can't ever deny it happened. But it did. But it was a fun time. So yeah, that was really cool. That was a cool moment.
How you, Screwy?
Oh my goodness. Can you go next? I gotta think still. There's so many.
Yeah, there's so many. I mean, everybody knows my little kids grabbing my legs at BronyCon 2012 story. But, to think of another one, just having somebody, it doesn't happen every time or at every con, but, it happens enough times that somebody will come up to me and just thank me for doing what I do and being there for people, and will just, give me a little note, and say, thank you. And it really warms my heart that, I touch enough people that somebody will come up and say that and feel the need to say that. Because I'm just doing this to entertain myself, to entertain you, to have fun. And if what I'm doing, touches you like that enough that you come and talk to me about it, it really warms my heart.
I know what mine is. The VIP parties we've done together.
Oh yeah, well, that's said to none. It's like we having the VIP parties and having a lot of fun doing that stuff.
Honestly, just the whole conventions themselves is just hanging with and getting to see friends again. And I hope I get to another convention soon. But because it's now at an addiction, or it's just like I need more.
Yes, you need to come to BabsCon.
When is that?
Dude, I said earlier, it's in April.
April,
first week in April.
Again.
If not, you're going to frickin' Everfree Northwest because it's too close not to go. Okay.
Yeah, that's the thing is that I'm still even trying to plan to go to BronyCon this year because my friend, my very good friend Jamie, he wants to fly out and everything to get down there. So it's like I have to be there.
And we have plans.
Yes, exactly.
For BronyCon, hopefully. If he can make it, we got some plans.
It's also about moving too. Yes, so,
yes. But do you know what time it is, Screwy?
Oh, here comes the fun bits.
Yes, it's that time of the evening when our guest gets to ask us a question.
Oh, geez, putting
pressure
on all
spot, buddy. Yes, it's time for the guest to ask us a question.
Darn, it's going to take a while. I'm not prepared.
Of course you're not. That's the whole point of the thing.
I know, and I don't like it. All right, I got a question for both of you.
Okay.
It's semi-topical. Season 5, we're still a few months out from it.
Yes.
So, what is like one episode concept you want to see in season 5 that's realistic, like something that possibly could happen that you would like to see?
Possibly could happen.
Yes, not like Celestia gets laser eyes and goes around and
kills everything.
Destroys Equestria.
Destroys Equestria. Sort of like Tyrek. I'm thinking that I want to see either the Pegasus family episode, which you talked about, or I would really like to see Rainbow Dash get told why she's not getting in the Wonderbolts and have to go fix it.
Oh, that would be a heart crusher.
That would be a heart crusher. It's like she finally, confronts Spitfire and the Wonderbolts about, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. Why am I not the Wonderbolts? And they tell her exactly why, and she has to go work on that, or has to mentally deal with it, and has to go fix it if she wants to be a Wonderbolt, right? I mean, you can't fix what you don't know, so there's obviously a reason. So I'd like to see that confrontation.
Myself, backstories. More and more backstories. I like the I guess you could quote unquote say lore. But I love it when they give history to things that are going on. That's why I still love Family Appreciation Day than any other episode, was its backstory to Ponyville. Now I'd love to see more of that. I want to see like even backstory of the characters or something, like more of Celestia and Luna, like for example of that whole ordeal with Nightmare Moon. That was fun to see. I want more of that. Or Sombra. I'd love to see some of his backstory too, because you can't not admit that you want to see more of him, because well, that's a pretty disturbing character in itself. How did he turn that way? But yeah, that's basically his backstory on anything. I just want to see.
Yep. Mystic and lore. And with that, we're at the end of the program, people. And remember, we have a t-shirt, and over here, over my shoulder, which isn't there, which will be there during the YouTube follow-up, will be a picture of the t-shirt that we sell on Redbubble. I know that you guys love it. You should pick one up because they're really cool, and hopefully we get a new one here coming up first quarter next year. But check that out. Pick it up because it keeps the show going. We'd love to have you support us by buying the t-shirt. And with that, wow, I got something in my throat. Just a minute. There we go. I want to say thank you to Tommy for taking time out of his busy schedule to come and talk with us.
No problem, man.
Yes, Screwbee for doing all he does. Amy, my wonderful girlfriend. Lance Bubla, Nathan Cowboy Dave, EFN, everyone working on MLP FIM, and you who come watch us embarrass the heck out of ourselves every time we turn on a camera. Every time. Next guest in 2 weeks, and remember we got 3 shows in December, so that's not the last show of the year. We've got 2 more shows this year.
I cheated.
Right?
I know.
Did you cheat? Did you cheat? You know who the next in 2 weeks guest will be? Screwball.
It's a she.
It's a she.
Her name starts with M.
M.
And she's known for calling everyone dweebs.
Dweebs. And she likes tacos, I hear. Yes, MarineACU Hendricks.
Yep.
MarineACU will be with us again. Our good friend MarineACU will be here to talk Rainbow Rocks and tacos, and maybe some other things that she's been doing.
Yes. I always. Okay, so how do you say her name? Son. The girl, Taco Girl.
Sonata.
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 I keep saying it wrong. I'm like Sonoda or something like that.
Sonata. Sonata Dusk, who likes the tacos. Which means I have to have tacos with us next time. I have to have like a pile of tacos here for her. And with that, we're out of here. Tommy, anything you got left to say?
Like, comment, subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe to Tommy Oliver says. Remember, he has a Patreon account. If you like his videos, go become a patron of Tommy Oliver.
Help me get food.
Yes, help him eat other thing macaroni and cheese. Yeah.
Hey, craft dinner's good.
Craft dinner is good. Make sure you put the hot dogs in it. Remember,
yes.
That's the Michigan version. Actually, the Michigan version is ground beef. So, yes.
No, hot dogs.
No, ground beef. So you mix up the ground beef and you make a nice ground beef, sauce, and then you put the macaroni and cheese in it, and then you eat it that way. It's awesome.
Or moose jerky. I just had moose jerky.
Moose jerky?
Yeah.
In your craft dinner?
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah.
What a Canadian statement.
Canadian state. Wow.
Hey, moose jerky is amazing.
But with macaroni and cheese? I love moose jerky.
Take 2 good things, put them together. Delicious.
It's not like chocolate and peanut butter. It's like, wow. I got to think about that for a couple of weeks. So we're going to see you guys later. Dang, I'm going to go talk to the boy. See ya.
Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. We hate to leave you, but we'll be back sweetheart. Good night. Good night, sweetheart. Good night.